What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, no one can deny that this past week at Marvel Studios was absolutely insane. It kicked off on Monday with the red carpet event for Shang-Chi, followed by the national pre-screeners yesterday, Chadwick Boseman reprising his role as Star-Lord T'Challa in last night's animated What If. We've also got a brand new Eternals trailer dropping tomorrow and a virtual press junket and interviews going out all week and the following week for Shang-Chi. However, the biggest piece of news, the biggest scoop, the biggest thing over at Marvel Studios that was confirmed this past week went down without a peep. No one noticed. It happened at an obscure con, and while now it's starting to pick up some steam in the way of a story, it was first re-reported by my friend Mikey Sutton over at Geekosity. We had the creator of Secret Wars talking about his current relationship with Marvel, things that have transpired, and the very real possibility that the next major crossover after Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame will indeed be Secret Wars. Jim Shooter, the creator of Secret Wars, talking about just that. And again, guys, in a world where we live where there's a ton of he said, she said, and it's already been deleted, this came with actual permanent audio. Guys, we're going to break down everything he said, Jim Shooter, the creator of Secret Wars, about the possibility of that upcoming film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're still giving away weekly Disney Plus subscriptions. We'll actually announce 2 brand new winners at the end of this video, as well as multiple PlayStation 5s and some other MCU related stuff throughout the year. We'll also be giving away Shang-Chi tickets when that film comes out at the end of this month. So if you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit that subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, and if you want, stick around at the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so you guys normally know I tell you to take everything that doesn't come directly from Marvel Studios with a grain of salt, but today's scoop, that is not this. It's also coming from Mikey Sutton, friend of the channel, friend of mine. He runs the editorial Geekosity, also the guy responsible for first leaking that Spider-Man Tom Holland was in Civil War. He definitely has credit in the industry, and he usually drops scoops that aren't confirmed and can't be confirmed until the projects come live. Again, today, that is not the case. Jim Shooter, the original creator of Secret Wars back in the 80s, did a question and answer at MegaCon this past weekend in Florida. Luis Gonzalez of the Geek Culture Congress podcast was able to provide a recording of that Q&A in which Gonzalez straight up asked about the possibility of a Secret Wars movie in the MCU. Now, to give a little context, I wouldn't say that Jim Shooter was ordinary. He actually had a lot of personality, seems like a really awesome guy, but the way he sounded about what he referred to as the suits upstairs is what you normally expect from the creatives at a company where you have creatives on one side and suits upstairs at other. Basically, the people in Marvel and their publishing very disconnected from what the artists were doing and their connection to the characters. And he even mentioned that oftentimes he was left to do the jobs that people in the suits should have been doing because he was the only one who could tell potential buyers and licensees about who the characters were in the X-Men and the villains and why they were so awesome. That's what eventually led to Secret Wars. Some licensees asked point blank from a publishing standpoint if they could just stick all the heroes and villains in one story so they could launch those original action figures, what went on to be the basis for Marvel action figures. It was literally a storyline created to sell merch. Now, fast forward into the interview, he's feeling comfortable, he's feeling nostalgic, he's already been, I wouldn't say again ornery, but he's joked around, poking fun at the suits upstairs for Marvel. He's feeling himself, everybody's laughing, and then the guy who provided the audio for the podcast, Luis Gonzalez, point blank asks about a Secret Wars movie in the MCU, and instead of skirting the question or being coy, rather, he was very candid and all but confirmed they're eventually doing Secret Wars in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is exactly what he had to say. He first revealed that David Bogart, the Senior Vice President of Operations and Procurement, Publishing at Marvel Entertainment, contacted him about Secret Wars, and when Jim Shooter pressed him for its purpose, he was told, quote, "I can't really talk about it, but you know we would like you to sign a work for hire." Quick side note, a work for hire is basically the artist agreeing that they were paid for their work, but they're not entitled to any of the royalties off the IP. Basically, if you're an artist, I hire you by the hour to draw for me, but you don't own the drawings or own the art. That's my intellectual property. I'm hiring you to create that property for me. So Shooter told him, so fine, send it to me. I did a work for hire. It's yours. You know, just send me the papers. I'll sign them. Because he did. He did all the work for Marvel as a work for hire. And I'm sure you guys have heard some of the stories about later in life and recently some of these Marvel artists who made some of the most iconic Marvel art of all time are really struggling here in the modern day, again, because they don't have royalty payments. They did this stuff and got paid at the time by the hour for that work. Bogart refused him again. No, we're prepared to pay you $10,000, sign your name. So think about this. It was already a work and hire, but what they were really doing is covering their tracks. And Shooter explained, you don't have to pay me anything. I know it was a work for hire. what do you want me to do? Lie about it? Basically saying, you guys don't actually need me to sign anything. It was a work for hire back then. Everybody knows it was a work for hire. Why are you calling me now? And then he added, didn't have a single piece of paper that said Beyonder, Titania, Volcana, any of the other characters we put in there. There's Spider-Woman, for that matter, the whole black costume thing, nothing. No piece of paper that they owned it. He added that Marvel had no piece of paper to say they owned it. Yes, it was a work for hire, but they were looking to make sure that they had all of their bases covered legally when they go on to make the Secret Wars storyline, so that someone like Jim Shooter didn't come out of left field, even though we all know it was a work for hire, because they needed actual paperwork proof. They needed something in writing. Again, he was poking fun at the suits for not really knowing what was going on for Marvel, and this was just adding on to that myth and legend that here they are calling, what, some 30 years later, because they're on to what could be the biggest movie of all time, even bigger than Avengers Endgame, and they kind of need to make sure that legally they're covered. He then goes on to talk about the black costume, its involvement with Secret Wars. I had heard some of these legends and stories before. It's awesome to hear it directly from Jim Shooter, the guy who did it. I'm going to source that audio link and provide it in the comments and description down below. Give me a minute. I tried to source it this morning. I had listened to the podcast 2 days ago. Wasn't able to find it. I'm sure it'll take me a second, but I will put that link down in the description. Either way, guys, it is not a question of Secret Wars if. It's a question of Secret Wars when. That very famous art run, I say very famous, all of BOSSLOGIC's art is very famous at this point. Everything he does is a classic, instant classics. But he did this run of posters for Secret Wars about a year ago, right around the same times that the Russos were very vocal in interviews about that would be a major crossover they would be interested in coming back for. And there have been several Secret Wars runs throughout the comics, but they revolve around Battleworld, the multiverse, Doctor Doom, especially the one that I want to see, one of the more recent runs with God King Doom, pulling Thanos' head and spine right out like Sub-Zero. That's actually the story run where T'Challa grabs the Infinity Gauntlet and leads the dead out of the Ancestry Plane to beat God King Doom. And I think about what could have been. That's an amazing story run in the comics. I highly recommend. Either way, Secret Wars to me is the inevitable final crossover point for wherever we go. And it's not going to be Kang. It'll definitely be Doctor Doom. That's why I think we're a ways off, because we're going to have several movies now to deal with Kang first as a villain. But ultimately, this is all leading to a Secret Wars crossover. Doom will be the main villain, and here we are, some 40 years later, and the creator of Secret Wars is talking about them reaching out and making sure legally they have all their bases covered, so when they move forward with these characters, they have something recent and on paper. Where there's smoke, there's fire. In this case, that paper is the fire that is the confirmation for Secret Wars, and it's pretty awesome. Man, my inner kid is kind of going nuts right now, because Avengers Endgame and Infinity War were awesome. The reason I'm so hyped is actually because I saw Shang-Chi yesterday, and I just think about him as one small piece in what could be a crazy Secret Wars crossover, and is awesome. Guys, Shang-Chi was really awesome. I hope I'm not overstating it. I was really, really hyped in my reaction yesterday, but man, it's really awesome. All right, anyway, guys, let's get into the giveaway stuff quickly before I let you go and announce some new winners. Okay, so we're still giving away 2 PlayStation 5s, 1 to 900,000 subscribers, 1 also with the conclusion of What If. All you need to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Let's also announce some new winners for the weekly subscriptions that coincide with What If being live. This is one for last week and one for this week. Yashinator for this comment here, this movie looks great, and Andrew Ambrose for this comment that it's very neat that they can use the recordings from Chadwick Boseman. I agree wholeheartedly. Either way, guys, all you have to do, I've already subscribed to your YouTube channel, so either email me on my business email, it's under the About section, or DM me on Instagram. I'll go ahead and confirm it's you, and then get the Disney Plus subscriptions right out to you. What we do, we send Visa gift cards that will cover more than a year's worth of subscription, guys, and it's that easy. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, especially recently with YouTube's algorithm and the way they've been sending out notifications. Certain days, who knows? So hit all notifications to keep safe. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me over on Twitter and Instagram at IamFires. You can also find me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires, with 4 original songs of my own, including the ones you hear in the background of this video. I have an EP coming out before the end of the year. Thanks so much for checking out this channel, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.